It's over for women.
Okay, y'all. Man, I'm crying for real right now. Like, I make $50,000 a year. $50,000 a year. My kids and I moved into my now husband's house after me living the single mom life for 3.5 years. And we move in with him, and he still pays all the bills. And my 50K, tell me why my 50K a year is only paying for food, gas, groceries, car payment, car insurance, and like little small debt payments every month.
Guys, it's over for women. Women said we don't need no man, and now look at what's happening. Even women with men, even women who have men who are paying all the bills and have their own money and can spend their money on whatever they want to, still cannot survive. Watching this video to fully understand what the implications are for women in this economy, why it's over for women, and how women are going to be affected going into the future. And now let's just go ahead and jump right back into the first video.
Like, what the fuck are we supposed to do out here, guys? We can't afford our lives. Like, I'm 35 fucking years old. And you know what's crazier is I'm lucky enough to have like worked my ass off to like create jobs for myself over the last couple of years, and every single year I have managed to have a job that has paid me more, and it doesn't fucking matter because everything just keeps getting more expensive. Oh, y'all, I'm so tired of being discouraged. But like I've basically like if you go on Indeed or any of these other job sites, I know so many of you have experienced this. You apply to like hundreds of jobs, nobody gets back to you, or you don't get the job because of XYZ reason. And guess what? The job can't even pay for your fucking life. Like I'm at the point now where I'm just like, what in the fuck? Like what are we doing? Like how do we get this to change? Do they just want us to like fucking rot and die?
I mean, guys, women created this reality for themselves. All right. They voted these people into power. They wanted liberation and freedom and all of this other crap. And look at their realities. And this woman's one of the lucky ones. She was able to find a husband, find a man, despite being a single mom. And this husband pays for all of the bills. She said it. He pays all of the bills. And even then, making $50,000 a year, she cannot spend her money on anything outside of gas, insurance, and things that benefit her. She cannot survive on $50,000 a year, even when she has a man who's covering all of the bills. That's the reality. Now think about all the broke girls who don't have a man in their life, who said they're Miss Independent, that they don't need no man. Think about the lifestyle of these women right now. They are suffering and they have no prospects. And many of them are staying on their hill and trying to act like they're boss babes when the reality is they are broke girls and they don't know where their next meal is going to come from.
Please tell me how we are surviving in this economy because I am unsure. I went to the grocery store today and I'm just going to read you some of the items. I didn't go in for a lot. I didn't have a huge list. I needed rolls and some lunch meat for my husband. I got some yogurt, some milk, bread, 2 loaves. I got some cheese, some breakfast bars, and raspberries. Do you want to know what my bill was? $108.31. $108 for like not that many things. Listen, I do not live, like I'm a stay-at-home mom. I work per diem. I work at the hospital a couple days a week, and I make a decent hourly wage when I do work. And my husband does not work a minimum wage job whatsoever. He works for a law firm. Like, he's director of marketing. But I don't understand how people who are living on like minimum wage, what are you doing? $108. This was not even my grocery trip for the week. This was literally like my quick, I need to grab some bread so I can make some sandwiches, and I need some milk, and I'm just going to grab like a few things. Like, what are we doing?
Women chose this reality for themselves. Guys, again, these are women with husbands. These are women that have husbands in their lives. So just imagine how bad it is for women who don't have a husband. Imagine just how hard it is for women to survive who don't have a man and have no prospects. Guys, this is guys, a lot of these women are going to find themselves that are single. Guys, 40% of 45% of all women come 2030 will be childless and single. That's just 5.5 years, y'all. Less than 5.5 years from now. And that's where it's going to be at that point. And that's only single, that's single women. Childless and single women. So when you factor in single mothers, we're talking about 70 to 90% of women that will be single. And the government cannot subsidize their living. The government is broke. They are $35 trillion in debt, and they cannot even pay the interest on their debt right now, despite running up the clock, despite running up inflation. And inflation is only going higher. The media is so full of crap where they're like, oh, inflation is finally coming down. We're down to 2.9%. That doesn't mean prices are going down. That just means that inflation is only going up slightly slower. So the price of everything is only going to continue to get higher and higher. It's a sad reality, y'all. It's a sad, sick reality. Inflation is not calming down. The Feds absolutely failed. And now they're like, okay, it's time to lower interest rates, as if that's going to actually change anything. All right? They achieved absolutely nothing other than making the economy worse, other than drying up, drying up the funds in the economy. The Feds were full of crap. There was very little money in the economy to begin with, actual money. People were living off credit. That's how a lot of people are living today. They are living entirely off credit, and they've been living off credit for years now. And you know what's going to end up happening? Everyone is going to say, fuck it. 100%. There's just going to be a bunch of big fuck it's, and people are just going to start filing for bankruptcy. Let me tell you this right now. A nation of people filing for bankruptcy is going to be hell on earth. Because when all of these people start filing for bankruptcy, the banks have nothing. There's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing the banks can do to stop these people. Once these people have filed for bankruptcy, the banks are fucked. All right? Oh, my credit's going to be ruined for 7 years. Oh, well, I don't give a damn. All right? And that's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to go. And people are just going to walk away from their debt. They're going to walk away from responsibilities. This whole MWA thing, a lot of men are walking away from their families, walking away from their wives, walking away from their children. You're going to see it, guys. More and more men are just going to, a lot of men are just going to abandon their families as well. They're going to say, yeah, I'm done with this shit. And they're just going to leave. Women are facing hell on earth right now. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them try to act like they've got it. Yes, girl, you've got it. No, girl, you don't have it together.
How hard has inflation hit you?
It hit me hard. It's hitting me hard.
What do you blame for it?
I blame the federal government at this point. If a working class mom who works as a paralegal cannot buy a $2 bell pepper because it's now $5, imagine a mother living on food stamps. Imagine a mother who's making minimum wage trying to feed children. They're killing us without killing us. If you understand that. They're killing us without telling us they're killing us. They're hurting people in ways that they can't help themselves. It's either feed my child or how about feed my children and I don't eat. But I have to go work.
Guys, it's hell. It's hell. And the government is not going to come and rescue them. Oh, this universal high income, guys, the government cannot pay its bills. Everyone thinks that, oh, it's just going to keep on going forever. We're going to have a deep depression. Deep depression. There's no way out of it. Look at Argentina. How are they trying to fix their crisis right now? Basically, they have no money. The new president they elected is like, we have no money. And he is making some changes, and he's made a lot of changes, and it is working. But it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt severely. And the socialists are furious about this because they just wanted to keep printing more and more money even though the value of their money had declined substantially. They don't care. And it's the same thing in America with these people who work in fast food and in these low wage jobs that believe that it doesn't matter what kind of work you do, as long as you show up for work, you deserve to be paid well. You deserve to be paid well. Are you out of your freaking minds? The more money that you print, all right, for jobs and for these kinds of jobs, the more inflation will increase. You're basically stealing from everyone else around you, because basically for you to be paid more, someone else has to be paid less. So you have someone who works at McDonald's and is making the same amount of money as someone who works at a law firm. Someone who works as a paralegal or someone who has a 4-year college degree. They're making the same amount of money, as someone who works at McDonald's, and then the person at McDonald's is like, I work hard for my money. It's about kindness, and work is work. Work is work. You think that you're trying to tell me that a licensed practical nurse, a woman with an LPN, or a woman with a BSN is equal and should be making the same amount of money as a woman who works at McDonald's? Work is work. We should all be treated fairly and with dignity and respect. And I'm entitled to a job. I had this idiot in my comments who said that he has autism, and I'm like, okay, fine, you have autism. I empathize for you. And he goes, well, that's these fast food jobs are really the only kinds of jobs that I can handle. And I'm like, and whose problem is that? He's like, well, I know now that I'm entitled to work. I have the right to work. You do not have the right to work, bro. Okay? You have the right to look for work, but you do not have the right to a job. All right? And you do not have the right to say that any job that you work at has to pay you well. Okay? There's such a thing as starter jobs, and people like you are causing those jobs to become a thing of the past because you expect a starter job to provide you with everything you need to survive. It's a complete utter BS. Some of you guys look at my job on YouTube. This is a job for me. I work, guys. I wake up, I go to sleep, I wake up, and I start working. I work throughout the day sometimes. Sometimes it's just, most of my days is just constant work. I have no time to do anything. I am working around the clock. I've heard some people go, oh yeah, you're just showing angry that you have no life. This is my job. This is my job. I have to work so much on all 5 channels for you guys right now. Okay? And to say that someone who works at McDonald's is they deserve to make this kind of money. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? You working on YouTube, for example, it's a lot of mental work. Lots of mental work, lots of studying, lots of learning. Many of you guys will look at things like the thumbnails of the videos and you're like, oh, those are kind of cool. Yeah. Do you know how much work it takes to develop those thumbnails for you, to ensure that those thumbnails can tell you what the video is about, to make sure the titles are optimized so that YouTube will show them to you, and to figure out and to monitor them constantly. It's so much crap. Graphic design work, video editing, all of this stuff. All right. Picking the topics and editing the videos for the clips and everything, grabbing all of this for you guys. It is so much work. There's so much work that goes into it. And then you have some idiot who works at McDonald's or DoorDash, and they think that they should be getting the kind of money that an electrical engineer is getting. And I'm thinking to myself, you are a fucking idiot. You are truly an idiot. You're an extremely over entitled joker. And I really pray that you struggle with. I really pray that you struggle affording food at some point, because you really don't deserve to eat. All right, you entitled joker. You entitled joker. Where this is only going to lead is that more women are going to find themselves in extraordinary poverty and destitution, living in shelters, living on the streets, living in their cars, and even living in the woods, because women were not designed to live without a husband. While the average man, on the other hand, can happily live in a shoebox at the side of the road. A lot of men will be just fine, because men will just pivot to something else. Men have to succeed, because if they don't succeed, then they cannot survive. Women, on the other hand, have always turned to Sims or the state for survival, but that crap is now coming to an end. Like I said, come 2030, almost half of all women will be childless and single, and when you factor in the single moms, you're looking at 70 to 90% of women being single. And they're not going to have men. Men are not going to rescue them. The simp economy is moving overseas. Even in China, the simp economy has collapsed, And only fools and lonely fans, it's not going to be able to keep them all afloat. I mean, that platform is on its way to be shut down right now. The DOJ is working to shut it down. Women have really hard times ahead of them. And if you're enjoying the content, guys, subscribe to our newsletter and my Substack, where for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my new guide, The Digital Nomad Blueprint. And also click the link in the description to get your free copy. Also subscribe to the Angry Guy Clips channel, where we post shorter videos and video responses, and also the Angry Guy Live channel, where we live stream. Both channels are linked in the description. What do you guys think regarding all of this? It's over for women. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.